In this portion of the video, we wanted to discuss the torquing of the die. There are different tools to use to torque your die. This is a hydraulic wrench. We recommend using this type of torque wrench because it will deliver a more even torque across the die. This wrench is for installing and removing body bolts from the die. This is a pneumatic torque gun wrench. It looks similar to an impact gun, but it is different. This is a good wrench to use. You will need to make sure that you can supply it with enough air pressure to do the job. This wrench is for installing and removing the bolts from the die. This type uses a torque wrench and a multiplier, which uses gears to multiply the torque from the wrench to get you the torque you need. When using this type of wrench, you must be careful to stop when the wrench clicks and do not go past the mark, which is sometimes hard to do. This is a straight torque wrench. This wrench will work, but only if you get one that has a high enough torque rating. This wrench is not big enough for the torque you need. We are using this one as an example. When using this type of wrench, you must be careful to stop when the wrench clicks and do not go past the mark, which is sometimes hard to do. There are straight torque wrenches that will go high enough for the torque that you need. Also, these types of torque wrenches are not typically made to remove the bolts. They are made to install the bolt at a set torque. This is a pipe and Allen wrench. We do not recommend using this, but have had to use this approach in the field. It will torque and untorque the bolts, but there is no consistency in the value of the torque being applied. You need to be very careful when using this option. We have seen people pulling down on the bar and get hit in the head, or pushing down on the bar and getting their hand smashed between the floor and the pipe. When using any of the torque wrenches, please make sure you are following the manufacturer's operating instructions in order to ensure proper and safe use. We would also recommend that you do not use any reducing adapters while torquing the die. That brings up our next point. Make sure that the bolts that you're using in your die are the correct grade. Also, if you're reusing your bolts, check for wear on the threads and check for wear where the Allen wrench fits into them. After in-depth testing, we have eliminated the hot torquing of our dies. We now follow a specific torque procedure and torque the dies at the full torque value at an ambient temperature. We have worked with the bolt manufacturer and have done extensive testing here at Nordson to come up with the new torque charts. We have two torque charts. One is for dies running temperatures up to 550 degrees Fahrenheit, 288 degrees Celsius. The other chart is for running dies over 550 degrees Fahrenheit, 280 degrees Celsius. To correctly torque the die, all bodies must be at equal temperature. Torque the die bodies at 60% of the full torque value located on the torque rating chart. Start from the center and work out to the die ends, alternating each bolt on either side of the center line during tightening. Refer to the startup section in the manual for the bolt pattern. Then torque the die body bolts at 100% of the full torque value and repeat at 100% of the full torque value again. Again, starting from the center and work out to the ends of the die, alternating each bolt on either side of the center line during tightening. These instructions are on the bottom of the torque charts found in your die manual. If your company still wants you to follow a hot torque procedure for your die, this is okay. We have not found any downside to torquing at an ambient temperature. There are upsides to torquing the die this way. For one, safety. Maintenance people do not have to work on the die when it's extremely hot. This also saves time. You do not have to sit and wait for the die to get up to temperature and then bring the maintenance people back in to torque the die. The time saving is especially true if you have a spare die. Also, it makes the people happy. It's not fun to work on these hot dies, and if I don't have to work on a hot die, it's all the better.